at some point you are probably gonna get an injury. Whether you are the safest person in the gym or whether you're a complete reckless moron, chances are you're going to have a little bit of a niggle, you're going to have a little bit of a twinge, a tweak, and even if it wasn't done in the gym, somewhere in life you're probably going to have some form of injury that you are going to need to recover from. That may mean some time out of the gym. Therefore, and it might even mean that you have some time off of exercise completely. Might be bedridden, who knows? So what do you do in those situations to A, maximize your recovery, but also to make sure that you don't undo all of the good work that you've done so far and maybe pile weight back on that you're gonna have to lose in the future? And how do you actually keep things on an even keel and moving forward in the right direction? So I'm going to run through some simple things that you can do and think about to make sure that you are optimizing your nutrition from that perspective in those scenarios. Now let's assume that you are in a situation where you can't go to the gym. God forbid, you cannot go to the Iron Paradise, you cannot shift weight in multiple directions and do weightlifting, bodybuilding, that sort of thing. So there's no training and there's probably along with that minimal exercise. Maybe it's a case that you can't get as many steps in because of whatever injury that you have, and etc, etc, etc. So the first priority in any scenario, whether it's this one or another one, is to switch your focus. Again, like most things start with the mindset. If you've got the right mindset in the right situation, you will be fine. You'll make the right decisions just naturally if you are in the right frame of mind. So this is a case of, okay, well, I'm in this situation where I can't go to the gym. So I can't expect to build any muscle because I'm not having that training stimulus in order to create the adaptations needed to build muscle. It might be a case as well that now focusing on dieting is going to be much, much harder. If that was your goal before you got injured to lose weight, etc., then that might now become a little bit more difficult because you're going to be less active. That means less calories burned. Therefore, you're going to have to manage your nutrition in terms of what you're putting in your face. That is going to create your calorie deficit. And if you're already someone who is maybe you're very small already and your calories are quite low, trying to pull that even lower just may not be practical. So from a mindset point of view, should your goal be to just maintain? Should it be to say, well, over the course of this period where I'm not in the gym, I'm not as active, I'm not going to try and diet. I'm not going to say that, I should be making so many gains and all this sort of shit. That's just not going to happen. You have that realization that you are just going to maintain. And you're in a situation where if you're in a deficit and you're not resistance training, there's the potential for muscle loss as well. So that would be, again, counterintuitive to this whole process to say, well, okay, I'm not injured, or so I'm injured, so now I'm going to go into a calorie deficit so that I can kind of hold on to the body fat that I've got right now. That would be a bad thing to do because not having that resistance training is potentially going to lead to some muscle loss depending on where you set that calorie deficit. So it would be making a bad situation worse for you to flip into diet mode at that stage. So my advice for you would be switch back up to calorie maintenance in order for you to maintain where you're at right now and maximize your recovery. So how are you going to do that? Well, okay, you're going to calculate your BMR based off where you are right now. And that will be a case of body weight in kilos times 24 or 22. If you're in the US, you're going to have to do some sort of googly conversion. In the UK, I talk about kilos because they are really a logical measure, right? Then you add on your activity level. Now, if you are bedridden, you're doing very, very little activity, basically it's fucking nothing. If you are doing a little bit of walking, but not too much, maybe it's like a 1.1, and then you're gonna have to judge it up from there depending on how active you are. Maybe that's dictated by the type of injury that you've got. Once you've got those calories set, you're then gonna be talking about protein intake. Now, to recover from injuries and things like that, protein intake is fairly important. Most people, though, when they are following a high protein diet, will be getting enough. Over 1.5 grams per kilo is kind of where you need to ballpark it. If you're already at that point, you're higher than that, then you don't need to do anything else. Just keep where you are. If you are lower than that, think about increasing your protein intake. Maximize that opportunity for you to recover faster, for you to get back to a full fitness and to keep progressing, get back in the gym, all that sort of good shit. Now, do what you want with the rest though. When it comes to carbs and fat, it's not really going to be that much of an issue or that much of a thing to focus on. So if you like slightly more fat food, high fat foods, go for that. If you like slightly more high carbohydrate foods, go for that. It's kind of whatever you want and whatever you feel is going to make you happy, because mood is going to be a whole sort of thing to focus on here. Keeping your mood up while you're itching to get back in the gym, while you're feeling a little bit shit for not being in the gym or not being as active as you were and maybe not progressing towards your goals like you wanted to be. If having certain types of food helps lift your mood, then that's only going to be a good thing. So don't feel like you have to restrict yourself too much on that sort of stuff. Just make sure you've got that calories right, make sure you're optimizing your protein, and you'll be fine. But most importantly, get that mindset right. I think it's important when you have an injury to focus on what's in your control. It's very easy to think about all the things that aren't going your way or are conspiring against you. The fact you can't get back in the gym, the fact that you can't do this, you can't do that. But a lot of this is going to be outside of your control. All that you can control is like the nutrition side of things. If you've got a physio and you're listening to your doctor, applying the advice that they're giving you and working hard to get back to full fitness, those things are the things you can control. And if you do that and focus on that, that is going to basically accelerate you as fast as possible to getting back to full fitness. But if you are focusing continuously on all the stuff you can't control, then actually you're probably going to work against you. It's going to make you get caught up in negative thinking in terms of, your motivation is probably going to come down and you're probably not going to do the things that you are supposed to be doing to improve your recovery. So in theory, it could actually slow you down in a way, possibly. So my advice when you are training or you're trying to get back to training from a period of injury recovery or a period outside of the gym is set the mindset to a point of maintain. Put your calories to maintenance calories based on your current BMR, based on your current activity level. Optimize that protein to above 1.5 grams per kilo, and then really focus in on doing what you can, what's in your control to keep yourself moving forward. So I hope that helped. If you're in that situation, I feel for you. I feel your pain. I've been there. I've been in a situation myself where bicep tendonitis took me out of upper body work for like 4 months. And that was fucking horrendous. So I have been there and I've broken bones and shit like that. So I do know what it's like. Hopefully this kind of gives you some simplicity, because there's no point complicating everything. There's no point having some super complicated strategy. It's just about simplifying things down. Focus on some key things and make sure you work hard on those. So I hope that helped. If you're in that situation, then I hope it helps you kind of pull something together so you can actually feel better about the situation. And by all means, come visit me on Instagram. Obviously, difficult for me to give you some specific advice on your actual injury yourself without seeing you and understanding more about your situation. But for some more general advice, feel free to drop me a message at iron_paradise_fitness. And if you want more information on fat loss, training, and to download a free 4-week training program if you are a gym newbie, a beginner to this whole thing, then head over to ironparadisefitness.com. You can download those resources and also read up on a bunch of interesting, well, I like to think they're interesting, articles on all things fitness related. But for now, all I'm going to say is thanks so much for listening. Keep living the lean life, and I'll see you for the next episode of the show.